Meghan, Harry and the War Between the Windsors is indeed the title. How toxic do you believe the entire relationship is at this point?
Well, I think it's very toxic. I think they do their best, the Windsors, Prince Charles, the Queen, to kind of keep it cool, but it's just impossible, especially with Harry's memoir about to come out. But ever since Meghan left Britain and then did the Oprah Winfrey interview...
Neutral. How did you approach
Well, I'm a
the early
monarchist. I
stages?
believe that the monarchy, I believe obviously in the Queen, and I think it's marvellous that we have this terrific family. I wrote a very critical book of Prince Charles 4 years ago, which he hated, but it was very true and was a pretty good sale. But I didn't really begin thinking about Meghan other than interest until the Oprah Winfrey interview.
So it was that interview
that what sparked it.
moment.
I thought that was just such a disgrace. I thought she behaved so badly, and Harry too, that I wanted to know what happened before. What was her life about that would lead her into that interview where she said so many things which were just untrue and so damaging.
Well, damaging, certainly. And you did interview around sort of 80 sources,
Yeah.
I think it was, for this book. Now, I mean, the majority of those people were willing to speak relatively negatively about Meghan, so some would then suggest that the book is biased.
Well, it's not biased in the sense that I do my very best to balance it, and there's a lot of good things about Meghan there. She's ambitious, she's good-looking, she is determined, she succeeded in getting a good script with Suits and everything, and in the end she succeeded in getting a man who built her up, who she was looking for all along. But on the other hand, on the way, there were many victims. And I think that the victims are obviously the people I looked for, because she did her very best to prevent her friends and the people she'd worked with in Hollywood, on Suits and other places, to talk to me. So obviously I had to work hard to get the balance, but I think it's a book which is balanced. I think it's fair. The reader will make up his or her mind whether she's good or bad.
And are you suggesting then that she was picking up phones to try and stop people from contacting
Absolutely.
you? Do you believe that happened?
Oh, I know it happened. I mean, this is my 26th book. I know when people are cutting me out, and it was just ridiculous how difficult it was to get to people who I genuinely wanted to hear the good side of her from. But obviously, she is a person who controls the narrative. She controls people. She ghosts people like her father or the royal family when she doesn't like them. She's a very determined woman.
Well, I live with a very, very successful woman.
I love ambitious women. I love ruthless women. I love women who strive and achieve. There's nothing I think is finer, greater. Best company is a really ambitious, successful woman. So, no, I think Meghan must be good company on her terms. I mean, the point about her is, of course she's successful and ambitious, and she has made it. She was in third-rate acting, and she's now a global icon. That isn't success, and she wanted it. She said to her father when she was a young girl, I just want to be famous on the red carpet, and she's made it. But I think on the way, what she's done is damaging, and that's what the book does. It tells the story of a girl who came from a broken family, who struggled very hard, and is, in her terms, has made it. She's now got a mansion in California, she's famous, she's rich, but on the way, what happened? And that's what makes it such a compelling story.
Well, you spent a little bit of time with her father,
Yeah.
Thomas Markle. Having spent that time, what are your feelings towards him now? What did you make of him as a man? Because he has been vocal. Some would say maybe too vocal over the past few years. But what's your take on
Well, he's been vocal
him?
because he's been forced into it. I mean, I've met in my life literally thousands of people of all sorts. And I know when a man is a good man or a bad man or an injured man. And Thomas Markle is an old man who doesn't think he's got much longer to live, who loves his daughter, and even said to me, you know, whatever she's done to me, I still love my daughter. But he's puzzled and hurt about the way she's treated him and just can't understand it. And nor can I, really, other than she was embarrassed by him and she just didn't like the man who's fat and all the rest of it now. But I found him a very, very sincere and good man who tells the truth. And the truth about Meghan's childhood, her relationship with her mother, her relationship with her first husband, all that is in the book. And it is new. And he never, in that sense, unburdened himself to anyone.
Well, I think they were defeated.
I think they thought they could blackmail the royal family into forcing them onto letting them go on the balcony, giving them which they needed for their Netflix documentary, which is essential to their financial income and all the rest of it and their wealth. And for once, finally, the royal family, especially Charles and William, planned it so they could come, but under the terms which didn't give them what they wanted. And I think they went back to America feeling very, very chagrined, very annoyed that they didn't get the exposure they wanted, especially with the Queen. And so I think that it was finally, they got the message. But I think they went back angry, and we'll see now with Harry's memoir whether he's going to get his revenge too.
Well, absolutely. You could get a mention as well, Tom. Who knows at this point? And to think her life could have taken a very sequin-fuelled turn, because you suggest she could have appeared on Strictly Come Dancing.
Well, absolutely. I mean, she came to England looking for work, for fame, and also a boyfriend, because she was always obsessed with finding an English boyfriend. And the man who introduced her to Strictly Come Dancing was a bit disappointed she didn't get the job. She wanted it, he wanted it, but it sort of didn't work out. But she came back to England anyway and got the Strictly and the dancing. She's got everything.
Very, very much so. I know you have another subject in your sights for your next book. Is it deemed a failure in your eyes if they don't try to sue, Tom?
Well, I don't mind if they sue as long as they lose. And so far, thank goodness, they've lost. But I think that Meghan, if she sues, she won't want to appear in court being cross-examined by my barrister. So it's best if she doesn't sue.
Will she read the book?
Well, of course she'll read it.
Definitely.
Oh, I'm sure she will. She can't
Have your
resist.
80 sources told you she definitely will read the book?
I think she might even listen to audio as well and everything.
Goodness. I would like to be in the room when that happens, Tom. I really would. It's a very interesting read. And like we say, the bombshell book it is. Revenge, Meghan, Harry and the war between the Windsors.